Hi guys. Okay, so today's video is going to be about Mojo bags, and I made this video on a Thursday. We have a 5-day weekend at school, and so I decided I haven't been really happy with the videos that I've been putting out lately. Um um I think my main focus as of lately has been content and not quality. And when I say content, I mean putting out more videos. And by me putting out more videos, the videos are less. Maybe I have less passion for the topic, or I'm doing less research on the topic, and so I just think that I'm going to start doing. So I know I've been doing maybe 2 or 4 videos a weekend, but that might cease, and it might be one video every so often. Because, like I said, I've been focusing more on the content and less on the um, the idea. So I know I made a video about charging Mojo bags, and so this video is going to be about what a Mojo bag is and what goes into a Mojo bag. And I'm going to give you some suggestions about how to make how to make Mojo bags for specific topics or for specific situations and conditions. So first of all, when we talk about a Mojo bag, it is most common that we are talking about flannel. And red flannel, this looks orange because of the light, but it's red, I promise. Red flannel is traditional for using Mojo bags. Now, if you've taken or plan on taking Kat Ironwood's Hoodoo correspondence course, she does sell these in a variety of colors other than red, but red is traditional. Um, and when I say a variety of colors, I mean she sells them from red to pink. Well, that's not a whole spectrum. From, white to the other end of the color spectrum, which is black. She sells all the colors that come in between those. Um, and the reason she sells them like that is because in her Hoodoo correspondence course, she teaches that different colors have different meanings. Now, traditionally speaking, my godmother always taught me that when she grew up when she grew up with her grandmother making Mojo bags, that red flannel was traditional. Now, flannel was traditional, period. Her grandmother always used red flannel, but she'd see 3 other colors. She'd see the bags come in white, she'd see the bags come in red, she'd see the bags come in black. And since red was a power color and it was probably the easiest to get a hold of in her part of, well, she's from Iowa, so her part of Iowa, her grandmother always used red flannel. Now, I said red flannel is traditional. So if you want to make traditional looking or traditional aspects of Mojo bags, that's fine. But you can also use other things that are traditional, like chamois skin or leather. A chamois is another word for a Mojo bag, and chamois tend to be made with leather skin or a hide of some sort. So cow hide, deer hide, something of that nature. So if you want to use something else, by all means, go ahead. And then there's always the option of using regular cotton fabric. That is so. I mean, it's all up to you what you want to use. I know I have a lot of fabric that I use for a lot of different purposes. Um, so red flannel bags are traditional, and it was traditional that red flannel bags. It was traditional that Mojo bags were used for love situations, in terms of attracting love or keeping a lover close to you. They were used for business situations and court cases. So if you wanted success in your business, you would hang a Mojo bag somewhere at your shop. Or if you wanted to have success in a court case, you would take a Mojo bag that had High John or High John and Woodruff and Lodestone. You would take that to court with you. Um, or if you wanted or if you wanted health and protection from something. If you wanted health and protection, you'd probably take Psalms 23. You'd write it on a piece of paper. You fold it up and you put it in a Mojo bag with some of your hair, and you would wear that on your skin, and that would keep people from harming you. You could also take a nutmeg and put that into a red flannel bag and wear that around your neck, and that would also keep people from harming you. These were how you used Mojo bags, and Mojo bags have a wide name, have a wide they have lots of different names. That's basically the point I'm trying to make. I'm not going to zhuzh it up. They had lots of different names. You know, some people called them a Toby. Some people called them flannels just because of the fabric that they were made out of, red flannel. Some people called them hands. Like, that's where we get the term a lucky Mojo hand. Or a lucky hand. Those were charms. Those were Mojo bags that were used for gambling. And I'm trying to think of any. You also hear the term nation sack, which refers specifically to a Mojo bag made for a woman, and it is to help her receive love and keep love. But I mean, I guess that's debatable because the history behind it specifies that it's specifically for a woman. But I mean, I guess if you wanted to make a nation sack for a man, you would just use herbs that are of a different nature and quality. So we're going to talk about. Before I start talking about the thing that I was going to talk about, the things that are traditionally put into a mojo bag are whole roots, not powders. And I guess that depends on what you choose to use. Like if you use, like I said, a leather bag or a hide bag, you could use powdered herbs because it's less likely that the powder is going to sift out to the bottom. But if you should choose to use flannel or cloth or fabric, it is not a good idea. It's not recommended, at least by me, to use powders in it because the powders could sift through the bag. That is something that I can't say I personally experienced. But I was also given that piece of advice by Kat Ironwood, and so if Kat is watching this, thank you for that advice. The things that traditionally do go into them are, powders or whole herbs, roots, powdered roots or whole roots, and personal concerns of yours, or if you're trying to do a love ritual for a specific person, a fidelity bag for a specific person. So let's say I have, let's say that you have X, Y, and Z that you're trying to be in a relationship with. You're going to need a personal concern from them, whether it be a piece of handwriting, whether it be some of their hair, or just a personal concern of theirs, something that is of theirs that you can put into the bag that says this person is mine. Now the thing about New Age the thing about today's modern Mojo bag compared to back then's Mojo bag is that today's modern Mojo bag holds an element of metaphysicality. I guess that'd be the correct word, metaphysicality. And really what that is the use of crystals, because if you were talking to a traditional root worker and when I say back then, I mean the early 1900s, like 1910, they'd be like, oh, you use a lodestone, that's all you use. And that's probably too early, but still, I mean, if you're talking to an old school root worker, they'll tell you that you use a lodestone and you feed it magnetic sand, or you feed it, they called it steel dust, or a lodestone dust. You feed it that, and that's the most important thing. My godmother, she actually told me that when she was growing up, and when she was growing up, her grandmother would only use a buckeye. A buckeye was what she used instead of lodestone. And the way she would use it was that if it was for money, court cases, success of some sort, that you fed it some sort of whiskey. And that if it was for love of some type, you feed it your favorite perfume, and you put it in a bag with other personal concerns. But back to what I was saying, traditionally speaking, crystals don't go into Mojo bags, but thanks to people like Reverend Ray Malbrough, we do actually have correspondences to uses of crystals, and your very own Deshaun O'Neill. If you do go and check my my blog on Oh my gosh, guys, I'm having such brain farts right now. If you go and check my blog on Tumblr, I actually wrote a full post about the 12 holy stones of the Bible. And my whole reason for writing that post on the 12 holy stones were because these 12 holy stones could also be reworked into root work and using them as protection objects and using them to make mojo bags. So please do go and read those because I do feel like you would gain a lot of knowledge about using crystals in root work. Because, and the whole reason I wrote this, and this is just a little segue, the whole reason that I feel that is important is that so you have a traditional, because when we speak of the Bible and when we speak of hoodoo, we are speaking of a type of magic that is strongly biblically based. But when you speak of traditional hoodoo, you are going to speak of biblical references, and so this is just those 12 crystals that I've laid out are biblically referenced. Therefore, if you want to call it traditional, well then it's connected directly to the Bible, and most traditional hoodoo is connected directly to the Bible. Anyway, I personally use carnelian in my mojo bags, which is a new age aspect, but it is also something I'm able to connect back to the Bible. So there's that. So other things that go into mojo bags beside personal concerns and herbs are animal curios. And animal curios could be cowrie shells, alligator's foot, alligator's feet, cat bones. As I speak about my yeah, he heard that. You put a black cat bone into a bag, and that's sort of for good luck. And I mean, other things like rattlesnake rattles. These are all things that would go into bags for protection or for protection and strength. Now, the thing about these is that these aren't so easily gotten anymore, especially not a cat bone. Where am I supposed to get a black cat bone? Well, the thing about that is now that you can go online and sort of buy animal curios, you don't need to go out and kill them. Because, like I told you guys, I've been working on on some high entries, and these are in the book. Hyatt interviews people that do use black cat bones in their work, and they tell us some very vicious ways of how to get them. And when I say vicious, they're deadly. So now you can buy cat bones. Now there's no guarantee that's going to be a black cat, but still that energy is still there if you put the intent behind it. And that's another thing that is very, 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 very powerful, a cat bone. Chicken bones, chicken feet. These are all things that would have gone into a mojo bag for protection. Not chicken feet, not a whole chicken foot, but one chicken toe might have actually gone into a mojo bag for for protection. A feather from a black chicken would go into a bag for protection. Burning black chicken. These were all things that they did for protection. Some other things that you could put into a mojo bag would be the teeth of an animal. So let's say that you're trying to, this is all about protection. But let's say you're trying to give yourself strength. Well, then you can take the teeth of a coyote, which are very available. I use them a lot in mojo bags. You can take the teeth of a coyote and put those into a mojo bag. That is very good for protection. Or, sorry guys, he's trying to lay down. You could take the teeth of a dog, a wild dog, a dog that has passed away. You could take the teeth of a raccoon. You could just take teeth, period. Like if you have some of your teeth, some people save their teeth when they fall out. If you have teeth of yours that you saved that have fallen out, you could put those in the bag, and that carries an extra power because they're your teeth. Notes, guys. Notes are important. Like I said, it's traditional to give them lodestone. Now, once you made the bag, once you put, your curios, your personal concerns, whatever you feel to be important into that bag, you also must think about the feeding of the bag, the feeding and the caring for of the bag. For example, this is my bag. This is my personal bag. It has its own purpose to me, and I feed it with Van oil. That is how this bag gets fed. Um, and it gets fed periodically. Now, there is such a thing as overfeeding a bag, and there is such a thing as overfeeding lodestone. Know that. When your lodestone has so much dust on it that it can't take anymore, it has been overfed, and then you cleanse off the dust, and you cleanse off the lodestone, and you start the work all over again. When your bag is less than effective, it is probably best that you should empty it out and refresh the insides of it. And if you want to make it for the same purpose, you can make it for the same purpose. Now, the thing about these is that you have to wash the bag, and the bag is perfectly washable. It's not dryable because it is flannel, and flannel is one of those fabrics that if you put it in the dryer, it's going to shrink. So it has to be air dried, and I don't really think anybody would think to put something this small in the dryer anyway. So it has to be air dried out. And so I've tied a string around it to make it easier so I can put it around my neck. But I feed this regularly with Van oil, and that is the most important thing. Now, and I want to refer back to this. I talked about how my godmother told me when she was a little girl, she would see her grandmother use a buckeye for everything. If you want to use a buckeye, that's perfectly good for you, but you have to keep the buckeye fed, just like you have to keep the lodestone and the Mojo bag fed, period. And the traditional ways of feeding that buckeye, in accordance with my grandmother, with my godmother's teachings by her grandmother, you want to take whiskey, your favorite perfume, or herbs of some sort, roots, powders of some sort, and you want to sprinkle those on top of the buckeye periodically, and you want to keep it close to you. Now, if you're going to use a lodestone and you're going to use a bag that is full of herbs or powders, here's what I suggest. I suggest that if you're going to feed it whiskey, that you feed it whiskey, just a couple of drops of whiskey on top of it. The same thing goes with oil. And whiskey is traditionally used for court cases, for feeding Mojo bags that connect with court cases, that connect with money, and that connect with gambling. But also Hoyt's Cologne, for some of those of you that aren't old enough to buy alcohol. Hoyt's Cologne is traditional for feeding a Mojo bag that relates to money and success in any area of the field that deals with the law or court. So, with the law or gambling or anything of that nature. So that is traditional for that. If you are going to make a Mojo bag for a loving energy, and when I say loving energy, some things that might fall under a loving energy is, say you want to get a job, well then you make a Mojo bag for the person interviewing you to like you more. Say you want someone to be attracted to you. Obvious. You want someone at work to be nicer to you. You just want to be better received by people in general. You are going to use your favorite kind of cologne or perfume for that. Also, Hoyt's Cologne could be used for that as well. I personally like to use Siete Macho. It's actually funny because me and Kat Ironwood, we got into a bit of a scuffle. Well, I wouldn't say scuffle. She just kind of objected to me promoting that as traditional hoodoo because it's not traditional. Siete Macho is it's traditionally a Dominican Republic thing. I know in the Dominican Republic, it's one of those things that, I have a teacher named, I call her Mami Rosa, and Mami Rosa is from the Dominican Republic. Her family is from there. And so she tells me that, Siete Macho is one of those things that they have in the cabinet with the Florida water. And, they have this whole medicine cabinet and, of a spiritual medicine cabinet is what she calls it. And Siete Macho is one of those things that they use along with, the candles for the bovedas and and the Florida water for the cleansings, and the tobacco and the rum. So they have that spiritual medicine cabinet, and Siete Macho specifically for that. And Siete Macho, as a side note, if you are going to use Siete Macho for a Mojo hand, it is more preferred for love, uh, men's love spells than women's love spells. So if you're going to make a bag to attract a man, a mate, then it is more common to use Siete Macho. Um, so, uh, well, it's not more common. It's more suggested that you use Siete Macho. Like I was saying, though, you can feed it your favorite cologne, your favorite perfume. You can also feed it sweet things, like a little bit of sugar and magnetic sand to feed the lodestone that you put inside, because or if you do put a lodestone inside, you don't have to put a lodestone inside, but if you should choose to put a lodestone inside, and you can feed it sugar and magnetic sand, and that will make the person sweet. I'm actually going to be doing a video later about sweetener spells, because I think that was a really good topic to talk on. What else? Oh, if you are going to feed your bag powders, first of all, I suggest that the powders should be made of herbs that relate to what the bag's for. For example, if your bag is for money, then you're gonna want quincefoil and maybe some patchouli, some orange, and some rose petals. Those are all good things for obtaining wealth, in my personal experience. And so what you want to do is you want to sprinkle those on the inside of the bag. If you do have a lodestone is suggested for attracting things. So if your Mojo bag is to attract money, I do suggest putting a lodestone in there. You want to mix some magnetic sand in there too, so that way you kill two birds with one stone. You get to feed two birds with one stone. I didn't realize I did that until I did it. You get to feed your lodestone, and then you get to feed the bag as a whole. And that is always, and you get to put that intent there. If you're going to feed it oil, I do suggest that you regularly inhale the smell and remember. And when you inhale, you take deep, and you should take deep breaths and focus on what the bag is for. The most important part to a Mojo bag is remembering that a Mojo bag is a power object. And like all power objects, it is important that you meditate with them. And meditation can happen a couple of ways. Like I mentioned, hoodoo is traditionally biblical based, and so when you think of biblical meditation, you think of yourself sitting down and having a conversation with God. And so if you want to sit down and Mojo bag, honestly, right now there's some things in my life that aren't going. You talk to the Mojo bag, and at first you're going to feel silly doing this, but this is a great way to make sure that your intentions are understood to the Mojo bag and what its purpose is going to do. Because a Mojo bag is a mini universe. I've actually read that a couple of times. Stephanie Rose Bird, who she wrote Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. She actually makes the quote that in a flash of spirit by, I forget who it's by, but the man who wrote Flash of Spirit, he talks about Mojo bags, and he talks about how Mojo bags are a mini universe, and I just love that concept. A Mojo bag can have so many things in it, and it can have so much power in it. You just have to take the time and the intent to pray over it. So we've talked about what a Mojo bag is and how it looks like. So I'm going to tell you guys some simple Mojo bag charms that you can put together for yourself, for protection, and for money. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is this one. You write the 23rd Psalms on a piece of paper, and you tie it up with red string, and you place it into a red Mojo bag, and you wear it on your skin. So you wear it on a necklace, and make sure the necklace is always touching your skin, or you pin it to the inside of your underwear, or you pin it to the inside of your bra if you're a woman. Um, you might also pin it to the roof of your hat and wear it inside of your hat if you're a man. And you want to wear this at your touching your skin at all times, and this will keep people from being able to hurt you. Okay. Um, so this one is for good luck. And so what you do is you go to a willow tree, and okay, so it is common. So this actually is first of all, these are high entries, so I'm not going to take credit for these. These are high entries, and these are all interviews that he's done. And I did a whole section of these that are specifically about lodestone and hands and properties. So I do want to talk about these because I do want to give you these because these are great suggestions. So this one, you need a piece of willow tree root. And so what you want to do is you go to the willow tree and you take a root from the east side if you can, if you actually are able to go to a willow tree. But if you're not able to go to a willow tree, just buy willow bark and place it in a red flannel bag and feed the bag Hoyt's cologne. And you're going to name the bag after the person it is for. So if the bag was for me, the bag would be named Deshawn. If the bag is for you, the bag is your name. If the bag is for Jane Doe, the bag is named Jane Doe. And this bag is for good luck. And you feed it Hoyt's cologne, and you always carry it with you. So you put it in your purse, you put it in your backpack, you put it in your pocket, you put it in your wallet. It always needs to be with you. You cannot leave this around. That is for you specifically. Here's one. To have luck, you take graveyard dirt, you mix it with Hoyt's cologne, and you mix it with a dime. Now, graveyard dirt is actually really good for prosperity. I use it myself in prosperity rituals and prosperity things. I actually make a lodestone feed that uses graveyard dirt. So to have luck, you take graveyard dirt and you mix it with Hoyt's cologne, and you place one dime into it, and you wrap it in a red flannel. You put that red flannel in your left shoe for 9 days, and you put it in your right for another 9 days, and on the 18th day, or on this 19th day, oh my gosh, guys, numbers. On the 19th day, you can just carry it with you. Wear it around your neck, like I said, pin it somewhere, and have it with you at all times. For luck, you rub a lodestone in Hoyt's cologne. Again, this idea of Hoyt's cologne, and you sew it into a red flannel. If you want to get a job, you take a lodestone and you put it into a bag, and you close the bag up with black thread. To attract luck, you carry a lodestone with a high John, a black lodestone, a white lodestone, and a high John, and you put those all in a bag together. That is to attract luck in gambling. Okay, here's one for the ladies. To attract luck and to keep peace between a man and his wife, mix graveyard dirt with broken sewing needles. So what you're going to do, this is a common thing in root work. You break sewing needles down. You can crush them, you can mash them, or if you can't take a hammer and ching ching ching. But you're going to put those into a red flannel bag. And so when it says breaking them, it specifically means breaking off the tips. I would just break them down into maybe as fine a powder as you can, or as small pieces as you can, just to keep them from sticking you. And you put it in a red flannel bag, and you carry that in your right pocket. So that is to keep peace between a man and his wife. So, ladies, keep that in mind. Here's one. So if you want to get a job and you are a woman, you carry a male lodestone in your purse with you when you go to a job, and you carry a male lodestone with a high john in a red flannel bag in your purse when you go to a job interview. These are just some ideas, guys, and if you guys would like, I will make a video on making Mojo bags. I will be glad to put that information out there. This video is 29 minutes long, and I've covered a lot of information. If you guys stay to the end of this video, thank you so much, because you are a true trooper and a really, I don't know if you're a fan, you're just an awesome person in my book. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, I have an Etsy shop now, guys, and I would really appreciate it if you guys went out to support me. So far, the only thing that I have listed is readings. I'm doing readings via Skype. But if I can get readings up and going, more people will start to buy readings up and going. I'll charge for other things. I'll post other, Mojo bags. I'll ship those out, and I'll ship out, kits for you to make them yourself, and pre-made ones by me if that's what you would like. I'll do candle rituals and candle spells for pay. If you are willing to, if I can get more people to buy readings, because I'm not going to invest more time and money into this if it's not going to go anywhere. And then secondly, if you are willing to pay for it, I will do it. But I do have, and I don't know if I've said this and mentioned this in a video, but I do have this thing about readings where I will not do a spell unless it has a reading. So if you ask me for spell work, you must get a reading from me first. I will not do a spell for you without doing a reading first. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and ashe, ashe, ashe.